దూరదర్శన్ శ్రోతలకి నమస్కారం. ఈరోజు మహిళా దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా తెలంగాణ గవర్నర్ తమిళిసై సౌందరరాజన్ మన దూరదర్శన్ శ్రోతలతో మహిళా దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా తమ అభిప్రాయాలను పంచుకోవడానికి మనతో ఉన్నారు. గవర్నర్ గారు నమస్కారం అండి. మహిళా సాధికారత కోసం కేంద్ర రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాలు అనేకమైన విధానాలు అమలు చేస్తున్నాయి. కానీ ఈనాటికి కూడా మహిళలు పూర్తి శాతంలోని సాధికారత సాధించాలని అవసరం ఉందని చెప్పి భావిస్తున్న ఈ సమయంలోని మహిళా దినోత్సవ శుభాకాంక్షలు తెలుపుతూ గవర్నర్ గారికి స్వాగతం. ముందుగా కేంద్ర రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాలు అనేక పథకాలు అమలు చేస్తూ మహిళలు విద్య, వైద్య, సాంఘిక, ఆర్థిక రంగాల్లో ఎదగడానికి ఇతోధికంగా సహాయం పడుతున్నాయి. ఈ సందర్భంలోని మేడం, just we want to share a few questions with you. To what extent do you think the women empowerment is achieved at present scenario?
First of all, I convey my best wishes to all the womenhood, the very, very happy and healthy International Women's Day. And it is a very good question, and this question will be asked ever, whether whatever may be the century. Because we are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, our 75th year of independence. But in spite of that, how many political leaders, we can just count them. And if a political dais is visualized, 50% should be occupied by women, but it is not that. I always laud our Honorable Prime Minister for giving hope to the womenhood. It is not only the schemes, but as a former politician and now a constitutional head, I am very proudly sitting as a governor, a lady governor. And before and all, women means they will have some reserved representation. For example, women in welfare, child welfare. But our Honorable Prime Minister had high hope on the women's intelligence and commitment, and he gave portfolios like Raksha Mantri, and now Finance Minister is women, and External Affairs Minister. Before and all, they used to say they won't cross the border and they cannot travel. Madam Sushma Sivaraj did a great thing as External Affairs, and now Meenakshi Lekhi is MOS of External Affairs. She's also traveling extensively and such things. But when then in Agniveers, even women are given a representation, and all over compared to all over other countries, women pilots are more in India. So these are the recent developments. So when this development has started, as I said, 75th year we are celebrating, we could have had more representatives, but now only the support from the government and the encourage from the government is more. I cannot say that it was not there, but extensively for everything our Honorable Prime Minister focus, whatever may be the scheme, there should be a share for the women. So this really encourages the women, but there is a long way to go. But we have started to walk. When women started to walk, definitely they will run, they will reach the top. So that development has happened, and it is halfway, I can say.
Do you think that women are getting equal opportunities in all fields? What is your opinion, madam?
Yeah, why state and central governments are coming out with schemes for particularly for women. For example, for pregnancy kits are given to women to encourage them to come to the institution delivery. So these days, nowadays, it is the incentives are needed, encouragement are needed for the women, and some family support should be there. So when the government gives some incentive, at least to use that incentive, the family will encourage. For example, in Puducherry, registration, if the registration is with the women, it is almost 50%. And even in Telangana, they are having such schemes. Even our Honorable Prime Minister, he had a great idea for giving the free gas. It should be registered under the name of the women. So in a lighter sense, I always say, in a fight, husband cannot say you go out of the house. If she want to go out of the, she'll take the gas and go out. So he cannot even have a cooked food. So even houses, Pradhan Mantri, our Awas Yojana have a significant share for the women, and mudra loan, if the banks have been instructed. So women representation should be there. So banks now, if 100 men are given, definitely there should be a share for women, ST, SC women, and in education, and this Sukanya Samruddhi, because a girl child is born. Once in a very interesting incidents happened. I saw one lady having two twin girl children. Then I told nearby person nearby, I may ask two girls. Then he was told, before and all we used to worry. Immediately when the girl is born, we have registered under Sukanya Samruddhi scheme. So I am till 18 years we will be having money for education, and after that we can draw the money and we can go for marriages. So with small saving I can. So these all the hope the government gives to the people. So as you said, when schemes are offered, so it will be motivating the family to support the girl child. For example, when the girl child is encouraged for education, scholarships are given for girl children. So at least, okay, we are no need for our spending. So the government is spending for them. So let them have their education. So in all way it motivates them. So it is moving towards the equal opportunity to men.
Coming to your question about the rural women and urban women, there is a huge disparity between rural and urban women. Should this be seen as an evidence of inequality in women's development?
Yeah, definitely, because now rural women, they are having ample opportunities. So only now I see, whether it is startups or education institutions, now it is decentralized, because reaching out to the institutions, reaching out to the industries was a problem for them, because they have to travel a long distance, otherwise they have to settle in the urban area. So now because of the decentralized efforts of the government, most of them are getting their opportunity in their own place itself. And education institutions, because education empowers the women, economy empowers the women. So when this education and economy moves towards them, it is not the women should move towards the economy and empowerment, economic empowerment or educational empowerment. The education and economy moves towards the women now because of all the schemes and the efforts. So now definitely even the village women also will be empowered. That is my view. And farmers also. Because it is before and all only Women's Day is celebrated, and October 15th is celebrated as Women Farmers Day. So in that way we are traveling. So I am really very happy that and another thing, they also should be encouraged. It's not empower means only working in the industries. Farming working is also empowerment, and whatever may be the rights they are fighting in their village is also empowerment. So it should be weighed in that way.
The birth of a girl child is still considered as a disadvantage in some of the places, madam. That the role of laws in dispensing the kind of social stigma is limited. Despite making some laws by the central and state government, the social ills like child marriage are still rampant in some of the areas. So what is to be done to face those challenges in the society, ma'am?
Yeah, it's a very good question, but I think because I have been following this Beti Pachao, Beti Padhao of our Honorable Prime Minister. So after such schemes, now people are thinking, because when government is supporting and when the central government has come with such schemes, and even some of the state governments are supporting, and why we should ignore the girl child, then that mindset has come. And another thing, girl children are now studying well, and they are looking after their family well, and propagation should be there, like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We have to safeguard the girl children. And nowadays, and in one statistics I saw, even for adoption, they are preferring girl children now. Before they were preferring male children now. So definitely there will be a preference in the later days, I believe. Yeah. And now the gap is now narrowing. I cannot say it is there. Before it was widened, and now it's narrowing. But in spite of that, dropouts are there. So direct schemes, indirect schemes, I can say. For example, Venkata Subramaniam's commission said Professor Venkata Commission said, large number of dropouts from the schools, particularly in the adolescent period, it is not due to lack of classrooms, it is due to lack of toilet rooms. So this was picked up by our Prime Minister, so under the Swachh Bharat scheme. So large number of toilets were constructed. So then the girl children, the dropouts significantly, there is evident after construction of toilets, dropout of the young girl children from the schools, particularly during the adolescent period, has dropped. Dropout has dropped. So because of some, so it is not only direct schemes like we are giving girl children the pension, the scholarship or other things, but indirect schemes which all will be helpful. For example, scholarship for their education, scholarship for the minorities and the underprivileged, and even now supporting the economically backward classes also. That is a step forward, and but not denying the underprivileged society. It is balanced, and with all these efforts, definitely children will be benefited according to me.
Yes, madam. Keeping in the present scenario, what kind of role that foreign culture is being influenced among the women, especially in the present generation? So what kind of role model do you think that Indian women should be for the rest of the world in preserving our values and culture?
Even now, Indian women spread the values all over the world. If it's the Indian women, they are more cultured, they are family oriented, and they are more attached to the family. But I always say, it is not only the dress pattern which reveals your culture. Taking forward your culture is also very important. And we can, I always use a phrase, don't westernize yourself, modernize yourself. Modernizing is different from westernizing. So we have modern thoughts and we have modern outlook. That will help us. But my request is, this family setup and our culture is a long-standing pride of our country. Please don't lose that and think that only that is our improvement or that is our empowerment. Continue your family culture, at the same time be a modernized in your views and modernized in your activities without losing your fabrication of family culture and our nature, our country's culture. That is one of my requests, because youngsters think that if you want to westernize, then some of the cultures should not be followed. Our tradition, our ancestors has taught great things. For example, during COVID, my grandmother and all won't allow me inside the house when I go out without washing my hands and legs. So they had some scientific outlook. So you see, it is not orthodox or it is not only just rituals. Not all rituals I am telling. See the scientific thing in our culture and follow it. So it should be aligned with our livelihood. It is not, culture is different, rituals are different. And there are some, you needn't follow everything. But some method of our life is planned by our ancestors. So take care of that also.
There is a concern about the safety of women all over the world. There is evidence of increase in crimes against women. So what kind of protection should a woman take from this scenario, ma'am?
Yeah, there is two types of views are there. Protection should be carried out. One is in the family, one is in the society. Family, how you are growing your children. You are always advising your girl child, but advising a male child is still limited. So you, from the beginning, you view both the children. If you are asking your daughter to be like this, you ask your son to be like that. Don't look the girl in a different way. Don't roam here and there. Don't take addicts drugs, because for that only indirectly influence to spoil a girl. So the teaching and the care should be same, but that is discrepancy in that, definitely. Boys are pampered and girls are always tortured, that type of thing. So from the beginning they have to bring up the children, and give both the same opportunity. In some families I have seen, no, he's a boy, he can choose that degree, that profession, but you are a girl, you should not, because don't compare the children, give both of them the same opportunity and protect them, protect their rights. Don't always control them. At the same thing, don't leave them out of control. So that balance should be there, and encourage them to go into more courageous activities, and encourage them to share their problems. If they have some sexual harassment or any atrocities faced in their institutions, immediately convey that sharing, we won't scold you. Parents should convey this message, assurance to the children. So that is very important. Society, if a girl child is ridiculed or humiliated, there should be punishment for them. So punishment should be severe, and there should be a forum immediate to decide about their punishment, and children should use their anti-suicidal number. They should always have that women helpline number, anti-suicide number. So you can put the number downstairs, because I learned that 104 is the anti-suicidal number. Why I am telling? Even in the colleges, when I ask what is the number, they don't know. Government is making such war rooms, and immediately they can have that suggestions. I am feeling sorrow, sad about Preeti's death. So just one call, I am feeling like something depressed. So what is, then other person will counsel. So it is not we have to go to a council. Government has done so much of arrangements. So this children should be made aware of this, and security should be everywhere. Children, Gandhiji told in the midnight also, a person can wear gold and go in the midnight. That is our independence. But sometimes it is very difficult to send our children alone to certain places. So that society, it's a responsibility of the society, the family, and then the individual. When they grown up, women should have their plan about their development, and then plan about their culture, and in what way they have to lead their life. Meticulous planning should also be there.
Then coming to, Madam, you have taken a lot of initiatives to help the tribal women, especially in the far-flung areas of the villages. And women in tribal areas continues to experience deplorable conditions. What kind of steps to be taken up to improvise their living conditions?
Tribal area, because yesterday also I mentioned in my talk in the International Women's Day, which is celebrated in Raj Bhavan, because first of all our aim is to improve the nutritional status of the women. And tribal women still they are anemic, and even WHO shows more than approximately 60% of the Indian women are anemic. But in spite of that, we have seen 90% of the tribal people are anemic, and then we did an initiative to improve their iron status, because when they gave medicines they were unable to hesitate to take it. So we created mehua laddus, produced mehua laddus, and we gave them, because it is aligned with their nature, their food habit. They started taking it, and now the hemoglobin has raised, and then we have provided them with chicks, Rajeshwari chicks, which lay protein-rich eggs, and we have provided with them with the ambulance. So their welfare should not be ignored, and still they should be, there should be even the officers, and if the administration to reach out them, because they are all living in a, because when I traveled an Allamala forest, most of them told, once for a while only our officers are coming, because it's difficult for the officers also to go. But there should be some people who reside there, who often travel there. So this type of support should be there for the tribal population.
Then coming to the important question for which actually the women folk has been waiting interestingly. Women reservation bill in our country is still to be approved in the parliament. What is the way out in the given conditions to make it a bill, ma'am?
The women reservation bill, because it's a long pending, after 75 years also we are unable to. But it is not only single party's decision, it is a decision of all the parties. And if the government come out with it, actually previously it was Rajya Sabha passed the bill, and again there are political changes, and even there were debates. Even the some of the parties who enforce it outside, whether they are supporting the parliament also we have to see. And one thing we can give, as I said, our honorable Prime Minister have given good representation in the ministry. And as a party, now I am the constitution, I belong to a political party, there we had 33% reservation in all the posts. So if 10 men were selected for administration, political party, 3 will be women. So only actually we all came up because of that only. So all the organizations before law, because law there should be consensus and there should be debates and everything. But before that, political parties can take a decision and the organizations can take a decision, so that a good representation should be given to women. So initially let the society start, and then legally and lawfully let it. So women should think. We should not go into reservations. We should improve ourselves. Our capacity should be improved. So when we are exemplifying in your service, you cannot be ignored. So women should take a stand. It is not that we are waiting for reservation, but they should think that unless she holds that post, nobody can manage that post. So women should be committed so that they can come forward. So automatically you will be made to sit in that post than a reserved seat.
Yeah, now the Amrit Kal, during the Amrit Kal period, we have been celebrating this Women's Day, which is a very important in present conditions. And Madam, could you please give your message to women on the occasion of this International Women's Day?
My message is, I always say, don't compromise your happiness for anything. You're born as a woman, keep your head high. And Bharati says, he says, walk straight, keep your head high. Don't stoop your head, because you are a woman, you have the pride. And with that pride, whatever may be the situation, challenges are there. Even for men, challenges are there. Women, don't be emotional and be strong. And whatever the field you work, try to exemplify in that field. Improve yourself, improve your skills, committed and indispensable. You make yourself indispensable. So that will be more successful, because women are capable of that. Look after their health also. Do yoga, do regular health checkups, and be happy, and be courageous, and be committed. That is my message.
ధన్యవాదాలు మేడం. మహిళా దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా మా దూరదర్శన్ శ్రోతలతోని చాలా విలువైన అభిప్రాయాలని పంచుకున్నారు. తెలంగాణ గవర్నర్ డాక్టర్ తమిళిసై సౌందరరాజన్ మేడంకి ధన్యవాదాలు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఐ విష్ యూ ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్.
దూరదర్శన్ శ్రోతల తరపు నుంచి మీకు థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్తూ ఈ కార్యక్రమం